What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Pony Lawson, and today we're doing another round of blind critiques. Once again, welcome back. If you haven't checked out our blind critique video from last time, be sure to check that out here. But for those of you who are unfamiliar with how this works, Ryan's going to send me a tattoo and I'm going to give my honest critique in a minute or less. And then I'm going to blindly rank them from best to worst, meaning once they have their spot, they can't be moved. Well, kind of. Make sure to stick around to the very end of the video where I rearrange them and stick them where I think they actually belong. Either way, super excited, so let's check out this first one sent in by Montana Scott. Alright, this one's pretty cool. I like this little frog. I think he's got a lot of personality. I love his little pipe. The flames coming up into the armpit, I know that had to be painful. There's a lot of nice detail to this. I do wish there were a bit more contrast. Maybe a little more blacks being used in this tattoo would have been nice. But I like the texture of the branch coming up through, and the color choices that were used I really like. The fingers are a little weird. They don't really look like frog's fingers to me. They kind of look like human fingers, but not a bad job by any means. The detail on the kimono is pretty cool. Like I said, there's a lot of really nice details in this piece. It's just not as clean as it could be. Some heavier line weights throughout the entire piece would have made this thing pop a little bit more. You know, around the pipe, I feel like the outline is just a bit too thin, and it makes it kind of blend into the background a little bit. But it does fit the arm really nice. I like the composition because it kind of keeps your eyes moving throughout the entire thing. Yeah, I like this tattoo. So if I had to rank this one, I would put this one... I know there's gonna be some better, and I know there's gonna be some worse, so I will stick this in the number 5 spot. All right, up next we've got one sent in from Keenan West. All right, this one's not terrible. I feel like there is a lot of wasted space in this tattoo, especially above the character's head. I think that's supposed to be flames or, oh, I guess it's hair coming from the other character. The composition is really lacking on this one because it's just very straightforward, and like I said, there's a lot of wasted space. As far as the technical ability goes, not bad. I mean, the outlines are okay on the face itself. If we look at the female figure, the cheeks are really wide and it's just very flat. It's one tone. It doesn't seem anatomically correct. You know, the nose is massive. The lips are very small and kind of tucked up under the nose. The eye is also very big. Everything seems to be warped on this tattoo. Also, I'm not sure what's happening with that hair that's coming back when all the rest of the hair is like negative space. This one has an outline around it. The ear kind of disappears into nothing. So this one just seems to be, I don't know, lacking in a few departments. This is a tough one. So as far as the ranking goes, I gotta put this one near the bottom. I'm going to give it the number 8 spot. All right, up next we've got one sent in from Amethyst out of Canada. This one's really rad. I like this one. Again, the composition is fantastic. The way the negative space moves from the bottom up to the top and around the fox's face just really keep your eyes moving throughout this entire tattoo. Also, the colors that were used in this thing are pretty spot on. The oranges with the browns, with that yellow sun in the back. I also really like how the negative space goes into that sun or moon in the back. I think that's really cool. The green crystals on the side have some nice detail to them. They're not bland and boring. I do wish there were maybe a white outline around those crystals. I know they're skin tone and maybe they were trying not to use any whites at all, which I know a lot of people don't like to use, but since it looks like they use some whites in the paw of the fox, I don't see why they wouldn't use white around the crystals. But either way, this thing's almost perfect. A lot of nice tricks used in this tattoo. I love the leaves up at the top, especially that little maroon colored leaf, how it has this turn and really nice organic looking shape. It's nice to see those ruffles in the fox also have some character and not be so flat and drab like I see in a lot of tattoos. If I had to rank this one, I'm gonna put this one near the top. I'm gonna save that number 1 spot, but I'm gonna put this at number 2. All right, up next we've got one sent in from Ericmulheim. And before we start this timer, Eric, you did mention in your email that your tattoo artist died halfway through your tattoo sessions. Super unfortunate, I am sorry to hear that. But let's talk about this tattoo. All right, so I'm assuming it's gonna be a cover-up. This first tattoo looks terrible. And all right, you sent over the design as well. Also not a fan of this design. I think it's really messy, but let's see where that goes. All right, the tattoo is also pretty messy, but it does look better than the design. So I'll give it that. I do like the colors that were used, but this tattoo is chaos. And I know they're going from that original design, so they were working with chaos. I do like how the little mouse character is a lot more visible in the tattoo than the design. Just not a fan of those weird blacks in that upper wing. I think it's really messy. Oh, you also send over a healed photo as well. And I will say the tattoo looks a lot better fresh than it does healed. And I know client photos can sometimes be a worse visual than what the tattoo artist takes because of lighting and all these other problems and issues. But I don't know, I'm just not a fan of this one. I don't really like how the black comes down on the foot and then the purple comes down on the foot on the other side. Again, it just looks really messy overall, and that's gonna be time. So if I had to rank this one, I don't think this is the worst one by any means. I'm just personally not a fan. So I'm gonna stick this one at number 9. All right, up next we've got one sent in from Max Goggin. And Max, you sent over a pretty nice woman's face that seems to be cut in half. This one's not bad at all. I do like the negative space that's running through this tattoo that kind of match the cracks in the lady's face as well. I do like how the tattoo artist decided to keep those eyes open and not have any pupils. It kind of makes it ominous. Ominous? You get the idea. Yeah, this one's really not too bad. I like the shading and the levels of gray that the tattoo artist used in this tattoo. You know, you've got your solid blacks, your medium tones, and your light tones. And I love the skin breaks that this portrait has. You know, the forehead is skin tone, the cheeks, the nose are all skin tone. It just really has a nice depth to it. Yeah, this one's not too bad. There's only a few flaws that I can find, like the right side nostril looks a bit bigger than the left side. And it does look a little weird with the eyebrows being uneven, but I know it's supposed to be that way. But this one's really not too bad at all, and I'm a fan. So if I had to rank this one, I would keep it at number 4. All right, up next we've got one sent in from Matt, and Matt, you mentioned in your email that this is a freehand design. Well, I can tell. A tattoo like this would probably be better off stenciled. You know, there's no reason that this should have been freehanded. It's not like it flows with the body in any sort of way, so a stencil definitely would have helped the artist out with this one. Also, the lines are pretty weak. I think it could have used a lot more line weights, especially around the outside of the thorns or branches, and even on the leaves. Speaking of those leaves, they're awfully messy. These things could look a lot better. Even that eyeball. Like, I'm so distracted by everything else that's going on around this tattoo that I didn't even look at the eyeball. The eyeball is something that generally a lot of artists learn to do first. Like, it's one of the first things we end up drawing and we work on relentlessly. And this one just really fell short. So I'm not sure if this artist is really capable of doing advanced work when they can't even pull off an eyeball. But this ain't it. Well, as far as the ranking goes, I'm glad I left the number 10 spot open because I don't know if we're gonna see anything worse than this one. All right, this next one is sent over from Alina, or we'll see, not really sure. Either way, let's check it out. All right, pretty solid. The saturation in this tattoo is spot on, especially when it comes to that red frog at the top. Red is a very difficult color to saturate properly, and it looks like the artist nailed it. The design isn't too crazy, but I mean, that's kind of what you get with American traditional. And I like the spin on the no outline frog along with the traditional. I think that's a really cool take, and excellent job on the artist. The technical side of things, the outlines are solid. The black shading is pretty smooth for the most part. The really solid tattoo. You also sent over a healed one as well. And just like a good American traditional tattoo, you get a nice, good, solid heel. That one leg on the frog is a little weird. It kind of looks like it's stretching out a bit too far, but it adds some character. It's also strange how one hand on the frog has 4 fingers and the other one has 3, and then the bottom left leg has 4 fingers and the one on the right has 5. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it's definitely something I noticed. So if I had to give this one a ranking, I'd probably put it at the number 6 spot. Before we get to the next one, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this channel, Mad Rabbit. Although they might not be able to save some of these tattoos, they can definitely keep your tattoos looking happy and healthy. They have tons of premium products for artists and collectors. To check out all they have to offer, head on over to madrabbit.com and be sure to use code PONY20 to save 20% off of your entire order. All right, let's see what's next. All right, up next we've got one sent over from Mickey, and we've only got the 1st, 3rd, and 7th spots open. So let's check it out. Sick. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean that in more of a pukey way. This thing, man, this is something you get out of an old school street shop. Like, yeah, this is not good. At least the wheels are circular though. Like, I'll give him that. And at least it's a readable tattoo, but definitely not my favorite. This thing looks like it was rushed all the way through. Not really any solid color saturation anywhere. Like I said, this is probably done by an old school artist. I mean, also the floor gives me that old school tattoo shop vibe. Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of this one. I mean, at least it healed exactly how it did when it was fresh. So there's something to be positive about. I don't know about this one. Also trying to squeeze that wing in the back window over that car. It's a bit much. And just the lines on the top of the car, just not sure about this one. So I'm glad I saved the number 7 spot open, because I'm gonna have to put that right at number 7, probably right where it belongs. All right, this next one sent over from Bogdan. And Bogdan, you sent over I don't know what's happening here. Some kind of dinner party with somebody's dad and somebody's mom, and a whole lot of hyenas. And I don't know who that person is in the middle. Looks like some kind of boxer with that robe. I don't know what the hell is going on with this one. They've got I don't know what is happening. They've got brass knuckles, a dagger, a cane. There's a cane on the table for some reason. A couple hands with a heart in it, a little tiny knife, some ribs, a steak, and a whole lot of words that I don't really want to read. This thing is a nightmare. This is what my nightmares look like. Is that supposed to be Tony Montana? It says the world is blank. I hope that's not Tony Montana. I don't know what to say about this one. It's just all over the place. Well, I'm a little upset that I didn't save the number 9 or number 10 spot open for this one, because unfortunately I have to put it at number 3. All right, up next we've got one sent over from Pineapple Crew. Not sure what that means, and I only have the number 1 spot left open, so let's see what nails it. All right, not bad. I mean, not great. Solid tattoo. The finger waves could use some work. The shark looks pretty good. This tattoo isn't crazy by any means. Probably looks like a 2.5 hour long tattoo. I mean, at least the lines are straight. You know, the harpoon lines come through the shark. Nice. It actually lines up. Yeah, this one's not super crazy, so I don't really know what to say about this one. The red blood coming down through the shark is a nice touch. He looks like he's in pain. I don't know, this one just doesn't really do anything for me. Like I said, it's well done, but it's just not crazy. If I had a spot open, I'd probably put it at number 5, but unfortunately I have to put him at number 1. All right, so I don't think I did super well this time around. I was kind of scared of giving away the number 1 spot, so I put a lot of people near the bottom, and then worse tattoos just kept popping up. So as I said before, I'm going to go through, rearrange these tattoos, and put them in order in which I think they belong. My number 10 spot is absolutely going to have to go to the disaster of a dinner party. This thing is just wild. It's a big mess. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. A lot of technical issues, and it's just kind of hurts my eyes. The number 9 spot, I'm putting this eye tattoo. Again, there's just a lot of technical issues with this tattoo. I don't understand why it had to be freehanded. It's absolutely a tattoo that could have been stenciled, and I think it would have helped the artist out quite a bit. The number 8 spot, I'm giving to the anime manga tattoo. It's not terrible, but there's just a lot of wasted space when it comes to the hair and that feminine figure. Not to mention the face proportions are just all over the place. The number 7 spot goes to the old school hot rod and skull tattoo. This one just feels a little more complete than the anime manga. Even though technically it wasn't great, it definitely wasn't the worst. The number 6 spot is going to go to the Secret of Nymph tattoo, the owl and mouse. This thing was very chaotic, but at least it's legible. Even with a cover up, there's just so much going on that I don't think you would ever notice the old tattoo being there. The number 5 spot I'm giving to the traditional shark and harpoon. This one's not bad by any means, but it's also not great. This one's just middle of the road for me. The number 4 spot I'm giving to the scorpion and frog. This one is technically applied pretty damn perfect. Although it's not super creative, it is done very well. The number 3 spot I'm giving to the samurai frog. This thing is pretty badass. It could use some technical help, but overall, this is a solid tattoo. The number 2 spot I'm giving to the black and gray geisha. Again, not super creative, but it is a little more creative than the frog, and it is technically applied very well. And the number 1 spot, leaps and bounds above the others, is this fox tattoo. This thing just has so many things going right for it. All the great colors, the line work, and the composition is second to none. So Amethyst, congratulations on being my favorite of the week. And a huge thank you to all the collectors who sent their tattoos in. But how do you guys think I did? How would you rank these tattoos? Let me know in the comments. Did I get it right? Also, let me know if you like this style of video. I think they're really fun. We always love to see as many tattoos as we can. And on that note, if you'd like to see your tattoos critiqued on this series, you can do so by sending them to ponycritiques@gmail.com. Please don't forget to subscribe while you're here. And as always, I will see you guys next week.